to be successful, to do good in what it is I'm doing, because I was letting what I thought other people thought, where other people thought I should be, hold me back, because they weren't successful in what they were doing and didn't want anyone else around them to be successful. So I had to give myself permission to be successful and just move forward. And no restraints there. I took off all the restraints once I did that. And then health and wellness. I'm not going to the gym now, so now I walk from my house into town in the morning, get out in my garden and do that stuff, and just make sure I'm still doing the things I need to do to keep my legs going and ankles going, because if I stop, those ankles and those, then there'll really get me. So I just have to keep on myself for what I'm eating and making sure, even though we're still home, I'm still preparing the meals for what I know I need to eat.
Yeah, that's good. I love how you said you had to give yourself permission. I know that, to some people that may sound ridiculous, but you really do have to give yourself permission and say, it's okay if I do this. If it's okay to do this. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to love myself. It's okay. So I love that you said you had to give yourself permission. So that's good. Anybody else who did the homework want to share? Anybody else? Who else wants to share? If you did the homework, just take a quick second and share with us. How was it? What was the value? What did you come up with when you did it?
Well, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I took the value of being spiritual.
Okay.
Now, like I had said before, my path, even before COVID, was to find out what did God really say, and who was He talking to,
Right.
and why. So my journey has been, just learning the kingdom of God and what He has said and what He's done for us. And what I found out that I have allowed the enemy to always bring my past up before me, but realizing that that's what Jesus went to the cross, to restore us back to the original intent, what God had for us from the beginning. Yeah. And so that really brought clarity to me to know that my source is not outside, it's from Him. The more that I spend with Him, the more confident that I am and who I am and who He's made me to be. And with that, I know, I'm not an entrepreneur, only in the ministry, capacity, because that is business. But I'm more confident in doing that now than I ever was. So that's where I have clarity in knowing who I am in the kingdom of God and what I'm supposed to be doing and how that I'm supposed to be moving forward, because my past is under the blood. It's been erased. And I'm the only one, well, Satan is the only one that keeps bringing my past up, because when God blesses me, He, I feel good about it. And then here comes another thought, causing me to think about my past. So that causes me to draw back. But when I'm learning and knowing that that's the job of the devil, that I don't have to believe nothing he says, that, is just a lie from the pit of hell. And all I need to do is keep going forward in Christ Jesus. And I'm going to make it. We're going to make it.
Yeah, that right there is also pretty powerful, because our thoughts or our past always seems to come up. And what I love to say is that our past never dictates our future. Never dictates our
Right.
future. As a matter
Right.
of fact, once we, as with the exercise that you all have did in the homework, you've looked at the areas to where you could very well be in default with your thinking, the things that you speak that many times is in the past that could hinder your future, right? But then
Mhm.
as we're
Mhm.
talking about all this, part of one thing that you can do is when you discover your default area is restructure, like we said, restructure, and then we begin to move into design, and that's realizing that from the very day that we were born, that God has created us and He's placed things in us. We have a
Right.
unique design, and if we can begin to think like that and speak those things, right,
Right.
and realize who we really are, because really, He has made us powerful human beings. He's put
Indeed.
so much in us, and sometimes we just don't realize it because we allow the past or what's spoken to us, we allow that many times to stop us from seeing what our future is. So this is a great segue, really. So thank you very much. A great segue into living our life by design. And of course, our hot seat coaching tonight is Kiana. Did I say that right, Kiana? I think I did. So, and so we're going to talk to her for a little bit, but just really quickly, a great segue into living our life, by design. One of my favorite scriptures, and I have several, is that my tongue is like a pen of the ready writer. And when I think about that, it's like, oh my gosh, I can speak and I can design my life, life by design, and when you're looking at the definition of design is an intent, right? It's a plan. When you design something, it's a plan. It's an intent that I have on the steps and what I'm going to do. And I love that scripture because it says that the words I speak can really design my life, right? Because my tongue is like the pen of the ready writer. And so what I speak, and this is this is like, to me, basic, very basic when it comes to us really thinking about how can we live our lives by design. And so again, we want to make sure that when we're thinking about living our lives by design, thinking about God's plan for us, it's really having an intent, having a plan as to what you're going to do. But here it is. And what I really want to just kind of go in with really fast is that the growth, right? So in the 7 areas that I have of living your life, and those 7 areas, one of the last areas I have is growth. And many times people wonder, well, what is growth? Well, it's so necessary, really, for us to have a growth mindset, right? Because really, we can't grow. Everything that happens to us in life, every day is a growth experience, right?
Mhm.
It's an opportunity to grow, especially when you are living your life with purpose and you are living your life with intent. What is my intent for the day? What is my purpose for the day? So everything, and when you see me looking away, I'm just looking at another camera and I'm just kind of looking at my notes. So don't think that I'm not paying attention to you guys. But and so it's necessary then for us to have a growth mindset. And so along with that growth, it's really the pain that we've come through. Pain causes us to grow, right? Pain causes us to grow. Our obstacles, that journey in life, causes us to grow. But then we have to make a decision exactly how we're going to grow. Part of living our life by design is being able to withstand the pain. I love this saying. I'm going to read it to you really fast. I heard, I'm not sure who said it, but I just want you to think about it for a moment. Hold on, let me see if I could pull it up really fast. And I want you to think about this when we're thinking about part of living our life by design is having a growth mindset, a mindset that grows, because everything again in life is a growth experience. So listen to this for a second. If you cannot take a good rub, how can you ever become a polished gem? That's good, isn't it? Think about that for a minute. If you cannot take a good rub, how can you become a polished gem? Listen, it is so necessary for us to be able to take that good rub. It's that good rub that helps us to grow. Right? And then when we grow, when we begin to grow, that's when we can really begin to determine, living our life by design. There's no way, guys, that we can live by design. Danielle says, and sparkle. Yeah. How can we become a polished gem and sparkle? Now, y'all know, I don't think there's no one in here, maybe some, that don't like diamonds, don't like rubies, right? To where, you love it. Why? Because you like the sparkle, and I do. I like the sparkle. I like how pretty it looks. I like the bling, and I love for it to shine, and ever so often you'll take your diamonds or your jewelry and you'll put on that jewelry cleaner and you'll rub it really good. And sometimes if you haven't done it for a while, you may have to rub it really hard to get the tarnish or to get anything off of it. Even with costume jewelry, right? There's costume jewelry that sometimes you've got to rub it really hard to bring it back to life. Have you ever had that? Or am I the only one? Am I the only one? So guys, if you've had that, type in chat, say something, unmute yourself and say, oh yeah, I've had that. So don't leave me out there by myself.
I've had that.
You've had, or you've had to, you had to rub it really hard. Or you've got silver or whatever in your house. I used to have this beautiful gold brass candlesticks. I still have them because my father gave them to me. And my dad has been deceased now almost 20 years. So he gave them to me. And when he would come to visit me, he would sit, because I never used to rub them good. They'd get all nice and tarnished. And he would go by the cleaners and he would rub and clean it until they were sparkling and they looked brand new and just absolutely beautiful. And I would love to see it. This is what this means to me when we're thinking about a growth mindset, when we're thinking about our life by design. It all, to me, connects. That a good rub. Sometimes we need a good rub. Sometimes we need that so we can come back to life, right? We need that awakening, right? Because it's when we're awakened, right, then we can begin to grow. Everything in your life is a growth experience. Margot said she's not an entrepreneur anymore. She was an entrepreneur, but even in ministry, that's a business. That's being an entrepreneur, no matter what we're doing. So here it is, when we're thinking about growing, right, then we have to think about, whether it's in your business, in your relationship, in your spiritual life, in your health. The bottom line is, growth isn't about the things that you're doing. Growth is about you. You have to grow. If you want your business to be, you want to be a better entrepreneur, then you have to grow. Personal development. If you want to grow spiritually, that is you. You want your ministry to grow, or you want to better serve in your ministry. It requires growth. It requires growth, right? And so, no matter what business you're in, if you're thinking about releasing weight, because if we lose weight, we'll just find it again. So we need to release it. Let it go. So I stopped saying I'm going to lose weight, because anything lost can be found. You know what I mean? That's why they named those places Lost and Found. So when you lose weight, you find it. But when you release it, right, it's all, talking to your mind and letting your subconscious know, no, I'm not going to lose weight. I am releasing it because I'm not going to be regaining it, right? So So you know, when you decide that this is what you're going to do, that's how you begin really to grow. And so it's through that, it's how you personally grow that can help you do better in every area, right? And then here's the last thought I want to leave with you really quickly, that I love this, guys, because this is, and I'm going to ask you, I hope you have notes so you could write it down, type it in chat. If you've got a question or something, you can type it in chat that you want to ask. If you agree with something, you want to raise your hand, or, just don't, I don't want y'all to just listen to me. I want you to participate, since I'm not seeing anyone on here except for Terry. So, but it's all right. It's okay. So, listen to what I'm just going to read this to you, because this is what I believe. Because again, with the growth mindset, and in, just so you would know, in my God's Plan for You webinar, and this is something I focus on in my one-on-one coaching, is really getting into who we are and that plan, and then what is it that we have to do. So this is what I want to read to you, right? God designed these sharpening kinds of skills so they run deep and wide and deeper still. The shallow waters are not where we become sharpened. Listen to this. Safety is not where we grow. Only when we take risks, when we're vulnerable, authentic, and held accountable, can we realize how much more freeing it is in the deep. Only when we dive can we understand what we'd be missing if we stayed on the shore. And so one of my commitments that I read is this: I commit to taking risks and diving into the deep waters so that I may be strengthened. And so part of that, when I think about that, I think about, again, the scripture that says, launch out into the deep. There's no way that you can be successful and really experience growth if you're always on the shore and playing it safe. Our subconscious mind wants us to always play it safe. And so when we play it safe all the time, then we're never really going to launch out. We play it safe in our faith. We play it safe in our decisions. We play it safe a lot, and we never take risks. And it's through taking risks. By the way, when you wake up in the morning and you step outside and you get into the car, that's a level of risk that you're taking. It really is. And these days, when you're going into large crowds without a mask or whatever, that's a risk. But now, how much of a risk are you willing to take in your life to where now you're going to launch out into the deep? Because if you're playing it safe, then you're never going to discover exactly what God's plan is for you, and 100% who he created you to be, or how you can walk in design, with intention, with a plan every day. 365 days of purposeful living, right? So it does require risk. It does require risk. And so that's what I want to, kind of leave with you tonight before I go into to talk to Kiana, because I just think it's so important. And so why do I think it's important? Because that's exactly what I had to do, and I know it works. I had to take a risk on some of the decisions I made. I took a risk in my business, but first I took a risk in my personal development, because I realized that I could have only gone so far in my business, and I had to go back and discover, Esther, what is stopping you from getting where you need to be, professionally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, physically, everything. I had to go back in and to just rediscover Esther. Rediscover Esther. And I began on this journey to really on growing, ensuring that I'm growing every day in everything. My mom just recently passed away. It was I think it was Tuesday. It's been 4 weeks. And I had to look at that and look at that and say, how can I grow from this? Because now my life has changed. I'm in a new chapter of my life. I'm in a new chapter that's without my mother. So what is the growth experience I can get from her passing away? What is the growth experience that I can get from just being around family for several days and us mourning together and the different ways we mourn and the different things that happened and, you know, the discussion, some good, some not so good, some I'm like, ah, but what can I take from that that can make me that person that God has created me to be? What is the risk I took? I took a risk when I was there. I spoke up and I used my voice. I would not have done that a long time ago. I would have just, you know, I don't think I would have done it anyway. I always spoke my voice, right? But anyway, so, but it's a risk, right? And so you have to, if you play it safe, then you're just never going to get very far in playing it safe. If you really want to commit, if you really want to get to where God wants you to be, to really walk full out in your business, in all of those areas, then part of your growth leads into that, and you've got to be able to take a risk. You've got to be able to invest in yourself with whatever that looks like for you. Okay? Any thoughts about that? Y'all get it? So Kiana, can you put your camera on for me? I know, guys, I'm going really fast.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You had your camera on so we can see your beautiful face.
Here I am.
You are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So Kiana, guys, won the hot seat for today. So I'm super excited to talk to her. Kiana, when I am looking down, I'm not ignoring you. I am just taking notes. Okay? Just writing down some things that you're saying. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right, great. So, tell me how are you? So you're in Dover, right? Are you in Dover?
In Hartley.
You're in Hartley? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm in the woods.
You're in the woods. Have you been in Delaware for a while?
All
Yeah.
my life.
All your life? Oh, wow.
All my life.
So, tell me what's up for you. What's going on with you?
Well, I don't know. It's like I'm not, everybody's like all upset about being in quarantine. And I'm not. I like the quiet. I like being able to focus, and I don't know, it's a different, you know how you feel the shift coming, but it's a different kind of shift.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what's next.
Okay.
And that's like, it's weirding me out because I always like planning everything.
Okay.
So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what's left? Our job closed in July. So I'm like, I don't know what I want to do next. And I got my degree in May. So I was like so excited because I finally finished. So
Great.
now I'm just sitting here like, okay,
What's your degree in?
behavioral science.
Cool. That's good. That's good.
So I'm excited, but I'm fearful at the same time.
Okay.
And I think now I've never had, I've had anxiety and I was okay with the transition. But like the last couple of weeks, it's like I've been like freaking out. And I'm like, why?
Okay.
So I've been praying more, I've been fasting, and like today is like the fourth day of my fast. And now I'm sitting here and I'm so like, you know how you're ready to go?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, one step at a time. So that's what I'm doing, everything, step by step. And I have it planned out. On Monday, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. But it's like for me, like I'm a mom first, so I always put myself last.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to get out of the mom phase
Okay.
and move forward and get out of my fear and do what I know I'm supposed to do, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
So tell me, what's your biggest challenge right now?
Me,
What are your biggest challenge?
I know it's me
Okay.
because I feel like sometimes I go forward and it's like I go 20 steps and like I feel like I get kicked a million steps.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions, right? And everyone, as I'm speaking and coaching Kiana, I want you, like, once again, like on Tuesday, to think about yourself, as we're thinking, where you are right now, and what can you glean from what we're speaking about. All right. So Kiana, the questions I'm going to ask you, I just want you to think about it. I just want you to be very open. This is a safe space. So tell me how you feel. Okay. So where you are, you've gotten your degree, and you said that your challenge right now is you. So you're stopping you. So my first question would be for you is, what would happen if you did something, if you took a risk? What would happen?
I don't know. Like, I know that, you know, with every risk, you don't know. But if I step out, I could be successful. But I guess it's like when you become so stagnant, you're like, okay, I'm not comfortable, but you want to go. But then you're just like, well, what if I don't make it?
So tell me, what is it that you want to do? What's inside of you? What's that passion? You have your behavioral science degree, right? Or behavioral, right? Behavioral science.
Behavioral science.
Yeah. So what is it that you want to do? What
I
does
don't
Kiana
even
want?
know. I have no idea. But I know it beats sitting home all day. You know, it's time, you know, as quarantine is ended, I know I have to go back out. So I don't know. And I keep asking myself, okay, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, do I want to go in the mental health field? I'm like, I don't know. You
Tell
know,
tell me, what are you passionate about?
animals and children. So it's like when it comes to children, like IEPs, things like that, you know, I love children. I worked at K-Cap, the alternative school, and I love those kids. But it's like I'm older. I don't want to fight every day at work, you know, that risk of getting hurt. I'm too old for all of that. I can't do that.
Okay.
So it's like trying to find something else where I know I'm gonna be safe and I won't have to worry about fighting and doing all that.
So
So
it
I
sounds
don't want to go to the prison because I know, you know, everywhere you go, it's going to be a risk, you know. And then sometimes when they offer you these jobs, they don't tell you about the risk, you know. So now it's like, okay, I'm ready to go back to work, but it's like, what do I want to do?
so the one of the things that we talked about earlier is that when we play it safe, then we could never really be successful.
Right?
Right? So in everything, as you just said, when we're stepping out, it's a risk. But the first thing that you have to do, Kenyana, is let's first discover is, you know, what's within you that's blocking you. I think you do know deep down what it is that you want to do, but I believe that there's something that's blocking you from really coming through to that. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. So one of the first things I'd like to do is talk about, you know, let's go back a little. Tell me a little bit about what you've done in the past before COVID.
Well, well, even with I worked at Telemon, but then I had a good job, but I had to quit my job because my husband at the time went to Iraq. So because the kids was in daycare too long, he couldn't stay. So I had to quit. So I went back to school and it feels like everything happened.
Okay,
Like it was too much.
okay, it's okay.
Like just to finish my degree was just too much. So trying to get over, like grieving. So it's been hard. But I did it. So trying to move forward and grieve is really, really hard.
Did you say and grieve?
Yeah. So every semester, when I went back to school, every semester I had a death in my family.
Okay.
So one year we had like 5. So this year I was like, I'm going to finish. And then my pastor died in the process. But it's so hard to grieve and focus and work. So it's been horrible, you know, the last 5 years. When you lose, you know, people who are so important to you and you work so hard towards stuff. And then at the end, I was thinking last week, I'm like, We work so hard for just stuff. And at the end, it doesn't even matter because it's just stuff. So I'm trying to work my way out of being so fearful,
Okay.
because I'm afraid. You're afraid to keep losing and keep gaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a lot.
So, Danielle said she's holding a space for you and your family. And guys, just in chat, just let Kiana know that you're there and you're hearing her, and you're gonna hold a space for her. You're praying for her. Yeah. Kiana,
And I have a sister that's been in jail for 22 years. So her mom passed in April. So it's like being there for her and trying to be, on the upside of things and working on getting her out. And it's a lot. It's a lot on my plate because I hold everybody together, but nobody can hold me together. So I've
this
been
is
really
what I
working on that and advocating for her. So
want.
yeah.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath through your nose, just a really deep breath. And I want you to hold it for about 5 seconds. And then I want you to just breathe out. Exhale. Yeah. I want you to take another deep breath in. And I want you to exhale. Take your time and exhale. Open your eyes. And Kiana, I want you to pick a spot on the wall that's in front of you that's just slightly above your head, right? So the problem that you have right now is fear. You have fear because of all of the grief and all of the pain that you've just experienced recently, and that's caused you to be a bit fearful, right?
Mhm.
Am I right? Tell me
Yes,
if I'm wrong. That's
you're
right.
right.
Okay.
You're right.
Um, I want you to focus, right? All of that energy. Think about all of the fear, everything that you're feeling right now. I want you to focus all of that on that spot right there that you're looking at. And anyone else, you can do this as well if you choose to. So I want you to really let me know when you focus all of it on that one spot. When you're really focusing on that one spot and you're thinking about everything that you're feeling and you're experiencing right now, you may feel like if your face may get a little bit tight because you're putting all of your attention on that one spot that's right above eye level. Let me know when it's there.
Oh, it's there.
It's there? Good.
It's
So
there.
now I want you to take all of your thoughts, but everything you've just said, all of your thoughts. I want you to take all of your emotions, all of your feelings, all of the grief that you're experiencing right now, any judgments that you may have, or areas where, it's just been, you just feel judged, any opinions or anything that you have that's just bothering you right now. I want you to imagine throwing them into that spot. Just imagine just throwing them and every energy that you have into that spot.
Okay.
You've done that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to think that in that spot, it's a black hole. And that hole is going to open up. And that hole is going to suck all of that energy, all of what you're feeling, everything that you're feeling right now. It's just going to be sucked in. You're just imagining this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You totally focus on this. And it's just being sucked in. It's just being pulled away.
Okay.
The hurt, the pain, the grief, everything is just being sucked into it. Anything that's surrounding is coming out of your body, the stress that you're feeling in your shoulders and in your neck. It's all leaving your body. It's all leaving your mind. And it's just being cast into there. Can you imagine that? Can you see that?
I can see it.
Now, I want you to notice that as all of that is being released out of your mind, is that out of your mind as yet? Is it
It's
gone?
gone. Hmm.
Then you're going to begin to feel that how your face is going to begin to relax. I kind of see it on your face a little, that it's your face is beginning to just relax a little. Are you feeling that it's relaxed?
I feel better.
You feel better? That's
I feel
good.
better.
That's good. The goal is to feel better. Do you feel better?
I feel better.
Do you feel some of that tension being gone?
Yeah, I feel it, especially because I carry it in my chest,
Yeah.
and my chest always aches, so I can. It's like
When your chest aches, tell me, tell me how it feels in your chest.
it always feels just like a pain. Like I always feel like I weather people's burdens. So
Yeah.
when somebody's hurting, I automatically feel it in my chest. I can tell. Like when somebody walks in the room, I feel their pain. So it's always like right here, like a little nagging pain, and then it just goes away.
So is it when you're feeling it, does it feel like if it moves? Does it tell me, does it
It
move?
always just sits here. It always sits here.
Is it heavy? Is it light?
It's a heavy pain.
A heavy pain? Does it
Hmm.
have a color?
No, I
Is it
always call it the spot.
the
It's
spot?
always the spot
Oh,
because I can tell it. Like if someone walks in and I can read people and I know when they're hurting because my chest will hurt and I'm like, I got that spot again. Yeah.
when that happens, does it feel like if it's burning or does it feel warm? How does it feel? What's
Just
it?
like I've had a lava rock in your hand.
Yeah,
That's how it feels.
feels like a lava rock. So it's kind of hot,
Hmm.
right? Okay. So when you're thinking about that, did you feel that? I want you to think about that pain. I want you to think about that lava rock, how it's on that spot, and now that spot is up there, and that's now going to be going into that right there. That
Right.
moves it out.
Hmm. Yeah, because it got really cool.
You
I
got
felt the
really cool.
coolness of it.
You
That's
felt
how
the
I
cool.
know.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good, 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 good. Now, what I want you to think about now is while you're looking at that same spot, I want you now to expand your awareness, okay?
Hmm.
Your eyes are open. I want you to look to your right and then look to your left and use your peripheral vision. I want you to kind of look down and use your peripheral vision to that where you could imagine just seeing even behind you, seeing behind you.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Hmm.
And so I want you to expand your awareness so much that you can actually maybe even see someone behind you, standing behind you, holding that space for you. Someone saying, I got you. Someone saying, you're not alone. Can you see that with your peripheral vision?
Hmm.
When you're looking to your right, look to your right again. Can you see your future in your right?
Hmm.
Can you expand your awareness to your future? Can you see your future as having nothing but good for you? Can you see that?
Hmm.
Yeah. And think for a minute that your left now, your left, that past is just, it's the past. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
Hmm. Yes.
Tell me, what are some things that you can imagine and see in your future?
Just stress free and happy.
Yeah.
No stress, happy, and just having those moments where I can not worry about anything.
Right, right. Can you see yourself having those moments to where that pain in your chest, that lava rock has now moved, right? And it keeps moving. Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see yourself? Can you imagine and see yourself to where you can see that your fears could be removed and you can step into what it is that you're to do? Can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Can you now expand your awareness to where that belief that there's nothing that you cannot do and that fear is moving away from you, has moved from you to where you can step out and do? Can you?
Yes.
So now I want you to close your eyes again. I want you to take a deep breath again. Hold it for about 5 seconds. And now I want you to exhale again. And you can open up your eyes again. So Kiana, what I just did, I wanted you to expand your awareness so you can really feel and know that you don't have to remain in that state, right?
Mhm.
That there's a future for you. And once you expand your awareness and you see it, that it can happen. It can, you visualize it, right?
Right.
Because you've got to see above sea level, SEE level, right? My bishop used to talk about that all the time, seeing above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel better.
Great, great.
I feel much better.
Feel much better? Good.
Mm-hmm. Like I can breathe a sigh of relief. Like, so I
Yeah,
feel better.
you're better. Good, good. So the goal is for you to feel better, and then the goal is for now to begin to make needlepoint moves. Many times, guys, we think that we've got to make these great big moves right away. No, we make needlepoint moves to get to where we need to be. But the first thing that we have to do is begin to develop ourselves so that when you go out and you do that job, you do what it is, then you can do it fully and completely, and you can live with intent and by design. And the
Right.
obstacles, those default that we spoke about on Tuesday, will begin to remove out.
Okay.
That was good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Good job. So everyone, as we begin to close, good job. Good job, Kiana. That was good. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts or inputs, but what I'd like to know, again, I want to, keep you guys, stay to my time. What's the value from today? What's the value? Anybody? If I could get 3 people to tell me the value from working with Kiana, or just what you've gotten from today at all. And then I'm going to give you some homework assignment, and then I'm going to encourage you to listen, connect with me, to go to the website. Danielle, can you put it in chat and do a take action step, right? To just basically, connect, and let's talk some more, and let's work through. All right. So thank you, Danielle. So what's the value? Who wants to go? Kiana, what's the value from the exercise today? Kiana, I'm going to help me, okay? Please forgive me if I say it wrong.
It's okay. Everybody calls me Kay anyway. I don't think anybody calls me Kiana. Nobody.
Okay.
My dad calls me Kay because, well, to me, sometimes I have to remember that I am valued and
Yes,
that I matter first. Because if I don't matter, nobody else around me is going to matter. And if I'm not healed and whole, I can't heal anybody else and make them whole.
exactly. That's it. That's it. So that's great. Great value. Yeah, that's great value. Have to. Anybody else? Who wants to go? Don't everybody come at once now. 2 more people. Terry, you?
Okay. I don't like to take up all the time. The value is just hearing Kiana share, from her heart. And, God didn't give you a spirit of fear. he gave you a spirit where you can step out on faith and just trust him. And I had to learn that a while ago. Before I would never even put my picture on the Zoom. I would always be the video hidden. I didn't talk out. And, going through one of Pastor Graham's coaching sessions and one of the other events that she had, I learned from her by watching her and my pastor, Pastor Margot, that you have to just trust God. And, some things may be hard and it may be tough and you're going to cry and you're going to, look to someone else because you think God's not hearing you, but he hears you, and you just have to keep talking to him in your own quiet time. And when you learn that, and I'm not all the way there, but, I show my picture now and I know that God has something more for me. And unless I trust him and step out there and be afraid to fail, you're going to fail forward. So you just have to keep going no matter how it hurts, and just take that hurt and let it push you. Because, if you get that pain in your chest, that's just the devil trying to get you. And Pastor Graham taught us this, and Pastor Margot taught us this a long time ago, like in 2008, I think they spoke about it. You just have to look at that situation and look at it and say, devil, I know that's you. You didn't get me before. You're not going to get me now. So just watch me soar. And just say that every time you come up on a situation, and it'll help you get past it.
I think one of the important things is that with the value for you, Terry, is that, as you begin to trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding, right? Is that you have to trust, and you've got to take some action. This is, again, you've got to launch out. And so you're trusting and you're taking action, right? Because action is the antidote for despair, right? And so, and where the mind goes, the body will follow, right? And so it's so important that you're in action. Action is the antidote for despair. So we got to talk about, you got to take some action. Understand? Because that's how you're going to get there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm trusting, but I've got to take some action, right? Because faith without works is dead. In other words, you got to have some action. Is there a third person that wants to tell me the value for them today? That's it? Nobody else? All right. So thank you guys so much. I know that the replay will be coming out. I appreciate you. I appreciate for all of you, even if you signed up, but you did not make it to this call. I know you'll be listening to the replay. I've gotten a couple of email messages telling me people who have listened to the replay. And so I appreciate you guys coming on and giving me the opportunity to serve you. I hope that you all take action and go on the website at www.fddwomen.com/take#action and connect with me, and let's grow together. And also, so you would know, we will be coming out with information. Danielle's going to kill me for announcing it, but just soon we'll be coming out with FDD 2021 information about that. So it will be coming out. I believe that everything will be launched for that in September. I'm super, super excited about it. Super excited. So you mark your calendars, because it is going to be a retreat, and it's going to be, I believe it's 5 nights and 6 days, something like that. Yeah, and so I am excited about it. It's going to be in what's that place in Newark? Outer Banks, in the Outer Banks. So super, super excited. It's going to be a small group. We're limiting the amount of people that's going to attend. So stay connected so you can find out more and more about it. Kiana, I love you. I appreciate you. You did an awesome job. Thank you so much for
Thank you, ladies.
to serve you. And I appreciate all of you. Make sure that you connect. Make sure that you take action. Take care. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the week. God bless you. On purpose, with intent, by design. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.